Right, hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be talking about a film which was made in 2011. It's an Indonesian film. It's action. It stars Iko Uwais as the neck-breaking martial arts cop who kills like 10,000 people in some rundown apartment block. And it's The Raid. It's probably the most iconic foreign film, I'd say, when it comes to action and Asian cinema anyway. I'd say it's like on par with Battle Royale in terms of craziness. This film was just amazing. It really was, and it was the most excited I have ever been for a film before. I'd seen clips of it on YouTube, and I knew that people loved it. And I was so excited when I saw it was coming on telly. I had like the entire week. I was like waiting for Saturday night. I was like, it's coming on like Viceland or something. I was so excited. I was telling everyone, I was like, I'm so pumped to see this movie. And I watched it, and it was so good. It's non-stop action. It's 100 minutes. I think it's 20 cops have to go through 30 floors of just thugs, and they have to take them out. It's like martial arts and gung fu mixed together. It is crazy. It really is, and it is non-stop action. When it says non-stop action on the poster, it really does mean it. There is like 2 seconds of breath that you get in this film. There's about 15 minutes of lead up, and then it goes straight in with the action, and it does not stop. It all takes place, I don't think in real time, but it's pretty close. And basically the general plot is that these 20 cops have gone to this big apartment block, and some boss of like a gang lives at the top floor, and these cops have to fight through each floor of thugs to take out the guy at the top. But it all goes wrong, and all the thugs come out of the rooms, and the boss is like, just take the cops out and you'll be rewarded. So now it's basically like a survival horror where these 20 police men just have to survive in this apartment block and try and take out the guy at the top. And it is amazing. It really is. It's probably one of the best action movies ever to be made. It's crazy. There's one scene that's got like the best feel for survival horror ever. And it reminded me, like, it was like a zombie apocalypse film, and like it felt like Resident Evil and just madness, really. And it's a scene where they're in this room, all the cops, and there's a sniper watching them at the windows, so they can't get out the windows, and all the thugs are trying to get through the door, and it's crazy. They start breaking in, and they're trying to escape, and all just shouting, and it's so well done, that scene. I picked up this magazine about movies not long ago, and there was this book of like 20 great action scenes dissected, whatever, like how they did it. And The Raid was number one, and it was just awesome to see it kind of get that acknowledgement, because sometimes foreign films, Asian films, are like really underrated when it comes to like American and British audiences. They're not really known as well as Hollywood films when they should be. Just because they're foreign doesn't mean that they're not going to be good. And this film is actually directed by some Welsh guy. It was crazy. I didn't know that until today, because I picked up the box set with the second film in. I watched the second one today because I've never seen it before. And I found it was some Welsh guy who went and filmed it. And it was kind of inspiring. It was like, if you want to make an Asian movie, but you're not Asian, that doesn't really stop you. Because some Welsh guy from a mining town went and made like the most badass action movie ever. So that was really cool to see. And I know that some people have problems with this movie. They're like, the characters aren't fleshed out enough, and you don't really care for them as much as you should do. But it isn't Saving Private Ryan. Me going into this film, I wasn't expecting it to be like, you're really rooting for these cops. I went in to see 100 minutes of non-stop hard-hitting karate moves, and Iko Uwais slamming people's heads onto glass things. It was crazy. So I went into it not expecting, Saving Private Ryan. But if you do have that mindset going into it, you might come away a little bit disappointed, because although the action is like the best ever, obviously it doesn't have that kind of emotional impact that like the characters do have in other movies. So if you go into the film expecting Saving Private Ryan, you're probably going to be disappointed. So just don't have that mindset and just expect 100 minutes of non-stop action. There was also this really great character in the movie called Mad Dog, and he wasn't the main antagonist, but he probably should have been. The antagonist in this movie, he was good while you were watching it. It wasn't very memorable after you see it, and that's probably because the second one had such a great antagonist. But in this one, Mad Dog definitely stood out. He's in both films, but it's 2 different characters. And you might remember him in this film as being the guy who fights them at the end. And he's got the best just fight, and he's the actual choreographer for the fighting scenes in this movie and the second one. And at the very end of this film, the 2 brothers, Iko Uwais and whatever the other guy's name is, have to fight him in this like basement thing. And it's by far the craziest, most violent, brutal fight scene I've ever seen. I was watching it with 3 other people, and all the way through it we were just going, oh my god, and just like gasping as these people were getting just torn apart. And it wasn't like where he fights one of them, then the other one jumps in. It didn't look like a Hollywoodized, kind of. It didn't look really choreographed. It looked proper brutal. It was just perfect. It was a perfect scene. And although I do prefer the second movie for all the other different reasons, I think that the second film is superior in every other way. The ending fight scene in the first one completely surpasses the second one's fight scene. And I think it is because of just the raw brutalness. Because in the second one, the fight scene in the kitchen, it looked really clean. And although I did really enjoy it, I thought it was amazing. The first one had that grittiness that the rest of the film had, and I wish it kind of had that in the second one as well. Because I was watching the second one, I was like, everything is better in this movie apart from the ending fight scene. The fight scene with Mad Dog in the first one is genuinely amazing. And literally one of us had to turn away. It was so violent and just awesome. It really was. So this movie was incredible. The rewatchability is really good for it too. If you want to like watch this film a few times, you can. And yeah, it doesn't really lack as much as I would say. It's just not as amazing as the second one. There isn't I don't find many problems with this film. Obviously the characters not as fleshed out as much as they should be with other audiences, but for me I wasn't expecting that, so it didn't bother me too much. And this film was amazing. It really is the slogan for it, 20 cops, 30 flurries, 100 minutes of non-stop action. That is the coolest tagline for a movie ever. It's really recent as well. It's 2011, and loads of films have kind of been based off this now. Dredd had a really similar feel. And apparently they want to do an American remake thing or something. Don't do it. Don't do it. This film is untouchable. You can't mess with The Raid or The Raid 2. They're both just perfect and they're really recent, so I don't know why you would want an American remake anyway. Just watch this film. But yeah, definitely recommend The Raid. And I'll be doing a Raid 2, I think, right after this review, so it should be up pretty soon as well if you've seen this review now. And yeah, hopefully you did enjoy my review of The Raid. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.